Greetings, this is Michael W. Ford. Today I'm going to present to you basic Luciferianism explained. And it's going to be centered around the four pillars and the Triad of the Morning Star as the basis for identification or self-identification as a Luciferian. In this video, I will simply explain the core of Luciferianism and remove the fog of confusion for those seeking actual practice. We will start with a very basic history of modern Luciferianism from my works and how I adapted old practices into traits that encompass the Adversarial Gnosis. Secondly, I will introduce the practical use of two models of initiation that establish a centered foundation that supports the mind, body, and spirit of the aspirant. The four pillars of Luciferianism and the Triad of the Morning Star have a very rational and practical base for the Luciferian to begin the journey. Now, to start, I began my journey of initiation in the 1990s, and from around 1998, after a very intense and exhausting 2-week-long working of daily ritual, the adversarial current found manifestation within and through me as a part of my initiation. Prior to my first grimoire, Book of the Witch Moon, written and prepared for its first limited version between 1999 and 2000, was when it was published, the term Luciferian took shape and was before used as a vague descriptive of what Satanism embodied as a part of the left-hand path. An emerging blend of chaos magic, black magical evocations, and more or less sabbatic witchcraft that I adapted from my initiation from a nightside witchcraft group based at that time in the United Kingdom. Austin Osman Spare's Zosky occultist inspired a series of trespassing, lawless rituals that were between frantic ecstasy of trance and meditative vibrations of mantras that were infernal names and voces magicae. The writing of this grimoire was encouraged, and I was fortunate to have been mentored via mail by Kenneth Grant through our correspondence. And the Luciferian current was transforming via the alchemy of my workings. I was fortunate enough to have Peter J. Carroll, author of Liber Null, Psychonaut, and father of chaos magic, write the introduction for the later version. My aim was to delve into the abyss of the historical, mythomagical, and enemy of religious dogma in numerous and ancient and modern cultures, discovering the etymology, descriptions, and reconstruction, and adapting adversarial rituals towards a balance of both high and lesser magic in a beneficial way was my aim that my personal daemon drove me towards. I was dedicated to peeling back the symbols and the forms of the adversary, understanding that the demonic and dark imagery and of the great satanic motivator, patron spirit, destroyer, challenger, and the very bringer of light to illuminate humans, to be self-aware and to have the potential of shaping and misshaping the world according to the individual, followed by the sleeping, ignorant plague that is known as the masses. I found that beneath the terrible and demonic forms of the devil, Satan, Lilith, and the legions of hell, it was merely a test, and the black flame, the essence of our psyche, and daemon, what was for humans both a creative and destructive force that inspired and motivated us differently. I established a small coven of a few like-minded witches in Houston, Texas around 2001, and my handwritten Book of Shadows contained the primal rites that trespassed the laws of religious monotheism by the crooked path upon the Ouroboros, that is, Leviathan. These ceremonies and rituals became the source of what would be later published to the great result of being Luciferian witchcraft. The Order of Phosphorus was founded to establish an initiatory structure around Luciferian magic as a means of attaining levels of Gnosis by the complete embrace of the adversary and the alchemy of what I named Infernal Union. The witchcraft coven that was Luciferian was based around ceremony and tradition, while the initiatory was based on just that. Layers of symbolism and meaning flowed within the Luciferian works as my initiation progressed. My studies and initiation in numerous paths, ancient and modern, along with my inspiring experiences in several left-hand path magical orders, allowed me to embrace syncretism and, as a means of resurrecting in modern form, the long-buried and feared Gnosis of the adversary. Lucifer, as the morning and evening star, the planet Venus, was the patron deific mask for the name of the entirety of the path. I attained the insight that light is not found by searching for in heaven with submissive prayers, nor can another take away your past mistakes and guilt-ridden feelings in your prior years. You redeem yourself by the refinement of consciousness and the application of knowledge to alter consciousness, thus gaining the skills and insight of not only self-mastery, but the validation of successful magic. Luciferians view darkness as that which we shape from our singular source of light. That is the invisible, luminous flame of our psyche. Initiation enhances our understanding of self-determined potential. Everyone has his or her own potential and what is considered victory in this life. This is revealed by the inherent dream of actualization of desire, the smallest to the collective that leads to the greater aims and goals in life. Light was taken from the spark to fire to light and was for the individual within. This inner light is the black flame, both a shining, lustrous, and angelic in the higher faculties of our minds and psyche. This light is the torch that illuminates the path we choose to make upon our individual journey in this life. Gradually, each initiate will mature with the Triad of the Morning Star as the skills of self-mastery through meditation and self-control bring the wealth of experience and insight. Power is a Eucharist for the Luciferian. One must be strong enough to possess it, and the formula of will, desire, belief in the Gnosis of unity, directing energy concentrated by our focused consciousness. Darkness is our primal origin. That which surrounds the cosmos is essential to our renewal and healing within the mind, body, and spirit. The serpent is an excellent symbol for Luciferians, for the snake was the bringer of wisdom to woman and man, and in history was also a symbol of healing, chthonic fertility in the earth, wisdom, and power. Luciferianism is not the sum of random rituals from numerous ancient pantheons, for one must prepare the entirety of self by the application of what I call the Four Pillars of Luciferianism and the Triad of the Morning Star. These two concepts are the most important and groundbreaking magical works you will perform, even before the exploration of different methods of ceremony and rituals found within my many books I have made publicly available. You may approach Luciferianism no matter if you are more atheistic or theistic. Trust your intuition and become familiar with Luciferian philosophy to determine if you honestly self-identify as a Luciferian. There are key traits identifiable in Luciferian philosophy that support a meaningful experience as one who carries the torch. The Four Pillars and Triad of the Morning Star are constructs that allow the mind to focus and validate an accounting of what your core traits, desires, strengths, and weaknesses are. The early ordeal of study and mental application in the real world establishes a balance between the imagination and the material or terrestrial world. The four pillars are balance, power, strength, and wisdom. The Triad of the Morning Star is liberation, illumination, and apotheosis. Luciferian philosophy allows a rational and pragmatic approach to self-awareness, perception, shifting initiatory journey that aims as gradual transformation from one of clay to fire with a balanced illumination light. The symbolism and witch lore of Azazel and the Watchers found in the Book of Enoch are powerful in inspirations as the bestowers of knowledge, skills, and the magical arts, that is the willed act of moving against the natural order. The symbol of the forge of Azazel and Tubal-Cain is at center of the symbolism of initiation. It can be difficult, emotionally or physically painful, yet by conquering, reaching, and attaining, changes us towards our idealized self. Perfection is not sought. That is an illusion. Self-excellence and eventual happiness through a rich experience and self-mastery is the indication that despite difficulty, you are building a living temple that you hold authority and power over. The rational philosophy centered around the 11 points of power, when adopted first on the mental level and applied in shaping the thoughts of what is important to you, sets in motion the transformation in 3 stages that can be identified: liberation, illumination, and apotheosis. These 3 stages are repeating states of being that are constantly, or if a period of actively practicing is ceased, which is normal for most, in a continual flux. As you strategically think before you communicate, you have the choice to put energy into what you wish to see and the actions that will direct more energy towards manifesting your goals. Luciferians seek to balance short and long-term goals with half selfishness and half consideration or compromise for those around you. Common courtesy is a basic community concept that exemplifies the social contract. It's better to seek to ascend and become in your life and demonstrate honor, to inspire good behavior with friends, family, and those around you. Once you have gained some validation and attainment in your application of the methods so categorized in the Triad of the Morning Star in my work Apotheosis, becoming aware of your spiritual and material aims and the practices of Aramanic yoga has strengthened your will and focused your mind. It is your option of beginning a basic study and practice of chosen magical rites and the meanings of ceremony as expressions of the adversarial upon your inner and outer worlds. Thought, word, and action are powerful weapons and tools in creating within the mind the material world. Initiation into the stream of the Luciferian tradition as an operative process can be accomplished by the simple study of any of my grimoires that acts as gateways to the subtle augurs of the night side and the pandemonium of black magic. Black magic is not the vile practices that the religious authors feed the minds of the masses for hundreds of years. Rather, it is related to wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that darkness is significant as light, as the meaning of each has layers of knowledge that activates our concentration of will, desire, and belief. Lucifer is symbolic of the entirety of the path as the balanced traits of the bearing light and blazing torch of terror to those that standing in the way of the adversarial path. It is a light of critical thinking that Lucifer bestowed upon humanity that allowed his legions to rebel against the tyranny of heaven. Lucifer's syncretic origins and etymology is deeply rooted among many cultures and pantheons of the ancient and medieval world. The first chapters of each book of mine explores in some depth the origin, history, and lore of the adversary and those traits found in non-related pantheons to Lucifer or the satanic. Yes, pagan pantheons are honored with deities and demons that possess key Luciferian traits. In short, Luciferianism begins with exercises outlined in the initiatory book, Apotheosis. The application and adaptation of Luciferian philosophy is a magical act and one that brings you close to embracing the blazing light and abyssic darknesses that is equally your weapon, the black flame. Initiation takes time and effort, self-determined choices that bring your life into strife, storms, and the skills required to master chaos and shape it into order. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, spread it. Visit the Luciferian Apotheca for all things related to the adversarial, available in one place, open since 2007. I have more coming soon, and until then, Banama Araman.